Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here in the Lynn Police Department. We are so honored to be hosting this roundtable for the governor and her team. We have just had a wonderful conversation with leaders around the region that are doing amazing work in keeping our residents safe and representing the men and women on the street who do that work every day. We are grateful to have had the opportunity to participate in the Safe Neighborhoods program and really had some great conversations about how that's played out in our communities, and heard a theme of collaboration across different communities, across different levels of government, across different types of organizations, public sector, community organizations, religious organizations, education organizations, youth-serving organizations, and that collaboration is really delivering results, and it's wonderful to see that playing out in collaboration with the leadership of the Healey-Driscoll administration. We're so honored to have the governor here, who has been a true leader on public safety, and particularly here in Lynn. We have had certainly challenges over the last couple of years, and the Healey-Driscoll administration has been a great partner in that, and I'm honored to introduce Governor Healey.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Mayor Nicholson. Great to be here in the great city of Lynn. I want to thank Police Chief Reddy, who you'll also hear from. And I want to thank my colleagues. Let me just note that government is open in Massachusetts. We all showed up today. We are all working, and we will continue to work day in and day out for the great people in Massachusetts, including on an important issue of public safety, which is certainly something personal to me as somebody who prosecuted cases as an ADA, who was Attorney General, and has seen the benefit of these partnerships, and as governor, the importance of investing in public safety, investing in law enforcement, investing in the technology and the resources that help investigate and hold people accountable, and the importance of investing in community prevention programs. We talk a lot, and we just had a conversation about what's happening with young people and juveniles and juvenile violence, and just talked through some of the successful programs that we know are working. This is the third of 3 convenings that we've had on public safety around the state. We had one earlier in Brockton, and then more recently in Holyoke, and now we're here today back in Eastern Massachusetts to talk about the work that we're doing and the work that we must continue to do. I'm honored to be joined today by a great group of law enforcement leaders. We have Massachusetts State Police Colonel Jeff Noble, municipal police chiefs, including Commissioner Cox of Boston, Superintendent Huden of Lowell, Chief Baker of Framingham, Superintendent Wells of Cambridge, and Executive Director Michael Bradley of the Massachusetts Chiefs of Police Association. We also have our district attorneys, and I want to thank our district attorneys and their teams as well for the work they do day in and day out. Essex DA Paul Tucker, Middlesex DA Marion Ryan, and Suffolk DA Kevin Hayden. Nonprofit leaders, we had with us Pedro Spaskovsky Gonzalez, who is the Executive Director of Cambridge's Community Dispute Settlement Center, and Joe Fernari of ROCA. Our public safety and security leaders, including Interim Secretary Sue Terry, Undersecretary for Law Enforcement Gina Kwan, and Executive Director Kevin Stanton of the Office of Grants and Research. Our legislative delegation, some of whom are here today, including Chair Senator Brendan Crichton, Chair Representative Dan Cahill, and Representative Sean Reed was here with us earlier. Look, bottom line is this. Public safety is some of the most important work that we can do in government. And the reason that we're able to provide public safety is because of collaboration and partnership. Collaboration between local and state government and law enforcement, as well as collaboration with local nonprofits and organizations that are out there also invested in improving the quality of life. I knew as Attorney General how important it was to invest in programs that are directed towards that end. Not only investing in police and giving them the resources, the bodies, the technology that they need to do the important work that they're doing, but also these organizations. And one that I care a lot about is something called Project Safe Neighborhood. And the Project Safe Neighborhood program that we invested in, my administration invested in, has brought resources to the local level to help with joint investigations and operations targeting gang activity, firearm activity, drug distribution, and human trafficking. And I can just tell you, it's a great example of partnership. You've got state police working alongside local police, working alongside members of the DA's office, as well as the AG's office in many instances. And I just really, really appreciate the work that's done day in and day out. And just the first 6 months of this year, this program alone that we invested in, and I was proud to be able to work with my legislative colleagues and making sure we got budget funding for it, resulted in nearly 500 arrests, took 54 illegal guns off the streets, seized 30 kilos of narcotics, and recovered more than $240,000 in illicit proceeds. We have been after this the last couple of years, and what all of this means is that we have safer neighborhoods and fewer victims of crime. That's what this is about. I'm proud that Massachusetts is ranked one of the safest states in America. I also take deeply any act of violence, any victim of a crime, the impact of that on themselves, their family, community, neighborhood, and that's why none of us will ever rest in terms of doing what we need to do to provide that high-quality level of public safety and assurance. So we're going to continue to do this work. I'll also say one last thing, and I said this last week when I spoke at after one of these convenings. Being a police officer is a great and honorable thing. Being a trooper is a great and honorable thing. And so anyone out there who is interested in a profession, a career, where you can make a huge difference in the quality of life for your community, where you have the ability to have a huge impact on the course of a young person's life, for example, I just want you to think about a career in law enforcement. Be at the state level, could be at the local level, doesn't matter. It's just to say it's a great career, and we need more officers out there. And speaking of officers, I'd like to invite to the podium Massachusetts State Police Colonel Jeff Noble, who's doing a great job.
Thank you, Governor. A few moments ago, we had the opportunity to spend some time with a great team of local and state partners who are all committed to making Massachusetts safe for everyone. I want to share a few brief observations from our conversation. As we face the complex challenges of this moment, the Healey-Driscoll administration's vision is clear. Build strong partnerships, stay engaged with our community partners, and deliver services that make a difference. That means programs like the MSP Teams program, where troopers mentor young adults through athletics. It means a trauma-informed response for crime victims and their families. And it means data-driven enforcement, where state and local police team up together to stop major crime, remove illegal weapons and narcotics, and deliver strong cases to our prosecutors. The results speak for themselves. Massachusetts continues to lead the nation. Thanks to the women and men working in our respective agencies, we continue to meet and exceed the highest standards that our residents expect from us. With that said, success is not only about numbers, more importantly, it's about trust, earned day after day, interaction after interaction between law enforcement, the service providers, and our community. That trust is what makes progress possible. Those of us who put our hand up and accepted these jobs in public service, the troopers, the officers, the professional staff, and the service providers that you see here today, work together every day to achieve great things. And we do it for one reason, to keep our communities safe. We appreciate the opportunity to share our experiences with the governor and illustrate the power of working together to meet the evolving needs of the Commonwealth and make our communities safe. And with that, it is my honor to turn it over to my colleague, Essex County District Attorney Paul Tucker. DA?
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel, and good afternoon, everybody. I hope it's not lost on anybody that here we are standing at a podium in Lynn, Massachusetts, to talk about the success and the work that the Healey-Driscoll administration has done, particularly as it pertains to these PSN grants. Because it was 2 years ago last month where Mayor Nicholson, Chief Reddy, and I stood at a different podium. And we talked about 7 people being shot on Essex Street. 2 of those were fatalities. It was a party for a young man that was heading off to Framingham State College. And that was part of an epidemic of violence that Lynn saw for several months. I can tell you that day and the days after that, Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll reached out to all of us personally, said, what can we do? We strategized, we got together with our state police partners, our local police partners, and that's why I can stand here today and say that the streets of Lynn are safer, People have gotten their lives back. When you take a look at how these problems were addressed, our law enforcement men and women did a tremendous job. The state police detectives, state police gang unit, Lynn PD, Chief Reddy, his command team, the detectives, the Lynn gang unit, nothing short of extraordinary. You may recall there was a press conference in February at the U.S. Attorney's Office that talked about the dismantling of the Trinitario gang with 22 arrests and 10 homicides that were solved. That was a direct result of the work that Lynn PD and our Massachusetts State Police did. And the genesis of that was the grants and the support from this administration. Today is a good day. Today is a good day to talk about the success and to really celebrate the good things that are happening in Lynn. And saying that, it's my honor to introduce Chief Reddy, who is really the architect and the leader of this with his department to get us in so much of a better place. Chief Reddy?
Thank you, DA Tucker. I first want to start by expressing my appreciation and thanks to Governor Healey, Secretary Terry, for your commitment to public safety, to the law enforcement community, and to the support you provided. The Project Safe Neighborhoods grants is a tremendous example of that. Thanks to the initiatives funded through those grants, we have made significant progress in combating gang violence, gun crimes, sexual exploitation, and other crimes within our community. It's also allowed us to develop programs for young people that create safe space and an opportunity for positive engagement, which is an equally important part of our approach to addressing crime and disorder in our communities. I want to acknowledge the strong partnerships that we have with the Massachusetts State Police, the Essex County District Attorney's Office, with our community partners, because working together, collaborating together, has been an essential part of how we're able to address the public safety needs of this community. So thank you, Governor Healey. We appreciate all your support in this regard.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks, Chief. That's great. Thanks so much. We're happy to take any questions on topic.
You said this roundtable was a chance to discuss successes, but also challenges. What specific challenges came up? I don't know if one of the DAs or chiefs or the governor.
Yeah, well, anyone can add. I'll just say a couple things. The way you solve crime today is through technology. Cameras matter. Monitoring equipment matters. Technology really, really matters. Technology is also expensive, which is why I know I put a priority, and the legislature puts a priority on funding those things through our state budget. It's also why it's super important we continue to receive federal funding, and when federal funds for public safety are cut, as they were the other day to the tune of $7 million, that's not helping us here in Massachusetts or in other places. But that's one takeaway, the importance of technology. And you think of this, the use of technology, right? You're able to more quickly solve a crime, identify a perpetrator. And when you do that, you bring a great deal of ease to victims, of course, and to neighborhoods and communities, and people have a greater feeling of safety. It's also important because those perpetrators aren't out on the street. They're more quickly apprehended, and that means they can't be out there committing other crimes. So that's one takeaway. The other takeaway for me is the importance of continuing to invest in what's happening with young people. I talk a lot about this. Young people around this country, coming out of COVID, increased mental health issues, challenges it seems out there. We've got younger people committing crimes in this country than ever before. Younger people with guns, younger people shooting, sometimes directly at people, sometimes just shooting. All of it bad. And so I think for me, another takeaway is the importance of, investment in crime prevention, engagement directly with juveniles. And again, I saw and heard many examples of really terrific programs in all of these counties where that work is happening, and we just got to continue to support that. I invite anyone else. I think you should hear from some of my colleagues, including our Undersecretary of Law Enforcement and some of the district attorneys as well. But look, I'll say this. There are all sorts of technologies out there that help with surveillance. That's important because, in today's world, so much is happening. I think about one interesting conversation we had is gang activity has also moved into a white-collar space, and all of that involves technology. So, public safety officials, law enforcement, we're going to be better able to do the job with access to greater resources and equipment. I don't know if others want to speak, but there's a range of things that, we need to continue to invest in, including cameras. I open it up.
I think as the governor says often, we are the home of innovation, and it is important that people see that that innovation is being applied to their public safety as well. We all know the importance of cameras. There is virtually no crime that is committed today where there are not phones being used, where there are not black boxes and information that can be retrieved from vehicles being used. When we look at putting a case together, forensic genealogy, that type of changes in science, that has led us to a different place. The kinds of investments that we make in those pieces are going to help us to get to a better place in terms of solving cases. In terms of accountability, we have looked to much technology to be able to hold someone accountable, perhaps without holding them in custody. That technology has to be state-of-the-art. People's safety is dependent on it. We have to be able to rely on that technology as well. And that was a piece of all of the conversation, the collaborative conversation. Unlike what we're seeing in other places, this was everyone literally sitting around the table helping to come to solutions. Thank you, Governor.
All right? Great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon.